speaker in. Just want to remind you of a couple things. Your paper is due today. We have this Thursday, don't come to class, okay? And this Thursday, you can double your fat gram intake just for one day. All right, that's it. Nothing else. Coming back after the break, we're gonna have we're gonna do drugs. We're gonna talk about drugs and also alcohol, and that'll finish out the semester. All right, I'm gonna try to have your papers graded. I don't know if I'll even get Folsom's papers actually before the break is over, but all of you here in the CRC classroom, I'm gonna really try to get yours done over the break so I can just hand them right back to you on Tuesday. Okay, so I'm looking forward to reading them actually, and I really am. I think they're interesting. All right, so that's all with the class structure. Today we have a guest speaker. I would invite you to ask questions of this guest speaker. Ask anything you want to ask, okay? Now, I don't think that there's ever been a question that he hasn't answered, but at the same time, if you ask something that might be something he wouldn't want to answer, of course you can always say, I don't want to answer that. Or put up a disclaimer or whatever we want to do. But please feel free to ask him questions. I think that it'll make it a lot easier for him if you do ask questions. And so please, I would implore you then to, and you will have questions. I'm pretty sure that things will come up in your mind. And go ahead and ask. Raise your hand. Folsom, please call in, even though we might have gone on to another point or something. Please use the phone. People at home use the phone, and everybody in El Dorado press those microphones. All right. So I'd like to introduce to you our guest speaker who's going to speak to you today about HIV. This is Gary. And Gary's been speaking here in health classes for a long time. I don't know how long. It's probably been the second year I was here maybe as a teacher. So
8 years.
8 years. 8 years.
92.
Wow. So yeah, you are the longest running guest speaker then for health education. You win the award. Come on down. So he wins the award, I guess, for speaking the longest, and I think it's a real good educational experience to have him in the class. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Gary.
Hello. Am I on? Am I on?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I got this here. Okay, hi, I'm Gary. I'm going to talk to you today about HIV and AIDS, and I'm going to try to separate the two and tell you what HIV is and also explain AIDS, separating those. I'm going to talk about safer sex, points of transmission, and how you can stay HIV-free. So HIV stands for human immune virus, which is simply the name of the virus itself. It doesn't mean that you have any symptoms of it, although there may be some at the beginning, right after infection, but there's no symptoms with HIV, as opposed to AIDS, which stands for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. It is an acquired immune deficiency syndrome, and syndrome stands for a myriad of things. So this is just not one thing. HIV is a human immune virus. You understand it's the virus, which I think I should draw the virus. Okay, very simple. Virus. Okay, so that's the virus. And HIV. Now what happens when you have between this point and this point, I don't like standing up, is, well, that's fine. They'll be able to get it. AIDS is after, well, I'm just going to stand up and do this. Stand up. I generally don't go this path first, but I was talking about having some change because I do the same thing for 8 years. Okay, I need some board. Let me go here. Okay, this is HIV, okay? This is the virus, okay? What the virus does is attacks your T cell, which is your soldier, okay, which is the thing that goes through your whole body and creates antibodies to destroy and fight and defend any intruders that come into your body. This is your DNA within this. Inside of here is your DNA, which holds everything about you, your hair color, your eye color, everything. And it also, like I said, destroys defenders. It makes antibodies that go out and attack. When the virus comes into your body, it hooks into the keys. There's a key here, and this what makes it so interesting is it can attack this by getting inside, decoding the entry point, and going inside and then going into your DNA and becoming part of you. Now it's part of you. That's why it's so difficult to get rid of, is you can't get it out of your DNA. So when your DNA will reproduce and create these new cells containing the HIV virus. Not only that, but this will breed HIV and thus kill this cell. That's how you lose the cells. We talk about this point, and this is the dirty date point. I talk about the dirty date. Okay, dirty date. That's the virus. We'll start with the dirty date. Okay, lots of, I had a picture of her. What'd you do with her? You hit her. Anyway, there she is. You know this picture I found here, so it's not my own prop. This lady here, if you can see her.
Put it on the desktop. Put it right here.
Rosie lady, you think that she's fabulous, beautiful. You want to date her, but look at her. She's pristine. She has all kinds of everything that you want. She's your dream come true, and you know that you can't be a cat or a pig. You just you have to be slow and steady on your pursuit to this lady. You want one thing though, and then some good loving. She is the one that you want. So you have to prepare yourself very well, and you want to take her out and be very slow and move slowly and be a gentleman. Not your true nature, but you can do it. So you go out and first date, you go and have ice cream, and you go to the front door, and you kiss. What are your risks from getting HIV with that kiss?
None.
None. Minimal. None. Unless, of course, on that day, she has a big dripping herpetozoid on her lip. What are your risks then? A little bit higher. Minimal. I'm going to go from high risk to low risk. Okay, we're going to talk about low risk behavior, high risk behavior. Okay, so it's still. But who wants to kiss somebody with a big dripping herpetozoid on her lip? Okay, right. So you don't do it. You say, "Oh, have a nice day." You kiss her hand. Okay. She looks like somebody like her hand kissed, right? Okay, so we go. That's fine. We go home. We're just hot for this. We're doing it. It's going to happen. We got another date coming up. And it's time to go. Let's get to third base or third base. Yeah, okay, that's my thinking. We're going to go to second base tonight, and see what happens from there. So we're going to go out to, say, the drive-in. Okay, so we're going to go to the drive-in with this lady here, and we're going to get some good loving. So. I didn't see her boyfriend in the background there. Anyway, so we go out and we're going to go out on the shush now. We're going to go to the drive-in, right? So you're going to get to, because that's, the drive-in, that's a cliche, but that's where you can really get to second base, cop a feel, get your hand into some business. Okay, maybe let her get her hand in some business. Okay. Now, what kind of risks are we dealing with this just hand action stuff? I'm going to talk about portals. Okay, talk about portals. We talk about portals. We talk about openings, places where blood can be transmitted through openings such as cuticles. If you can look at your cuticles and see a little place where there's red, or see the cut on my hand even. Little cut on my finger. That's an opening. It's a transmission point. Although it is a minimal risk, it's a risk. Okay? There was a nurse that was helping a doctor operate on an HIV-infected patient, and she's inside this guy. Right? Ooh, hey, yeah. Got her gloves on. The doctor cuts her finger. Uh-oh. You think she was infected? Who thinks she was infected? No, she wasn't. Want to know why? Because your body defense is bleeding out. She was bleeding into him because she was flushing out. See how just the different things that make this so easy, yet to not only become infected, but to not become infected. Because there's so many variables in all of that. It's like putting two running garden hoses together. They're not going to, neither one's going to, but if she had HIV and he didn't, he probably surely would have been infected. So you're going, you got cuts, you got, kitty that scratched your fingers, you're taking a chance because then there's pressure, you've got, what are the 4 fluids? Here we go, okay, if I jump. Here are the 4 fluids. What are the 4 fluids that have the highest percentage of HIV in them? Blood, semen.
Saliva.
See, but we just said that kissing wasn't,
Oh.
okay? Bam, bam, no. Okay, no saliva. What? Okay, blood, semen, vaginal secretions, and breast milk. They have a high percentage of blood in them, therefore, they have the highest percentage of virus in them. The virus only survives in blood. Only lives in blood, doesn't live in anything else. If there's blood present in any of your fluids, then there's a chance that there's HIV in it. Okay, so hand business, we're going to a medium risk here now. Okay, the third date. Okay, finally third base, third date. Okay, you want to do all kinds of kinky stuff with her, and you've got to know her a little bit better, and you realize that she's a kink. She's okay with it. She knows how to freak. Okay, so you're ready to do the freak. Okay, so we're talking about high risk behavior with and without a condom. Vaginal intercourse, anal intercourse, both high risk. Okay, we're talking about oral. We're talking about face, cuts. There's so many places where you can have portals in this area. Guys who shave get nicks and cuts. You got vaginal secretion, you got nicks and cuts, you got pressure. Either way, male to female, female to male, either way, there's a high risk in there. Well, with the condom, non-risk. 42% of the HIV infection today is held by African American women, with a steady increase to other minorities, and white females are right behind them, as well as white men between the ages of 16 and 24 are increasingly becoming infected. This was like 5 years ago. Local school had a blood drive. Senior class, 17 of the students had HIV. This is a big deal. And so you've done all this stuff with her, and you didn't use any protection. And you wake up the next morning and you're wondering, wow, it happened. I wonder if I had anything, She told you that you were too good for her, and that she was going to go back to her boyfriend. Which is, when you sleep with somebody, you're sleeping with everybody they ever slept with. And not just them. And it's nasty, really nasty. To date, it's nasty. And so, yeah, sex is good and life is long. So, you've done all that stuff, you're done, you're free again, and you decide you want to go out and do some good old-fashioned getting drunk and partying, sleeping around a little bit more, and you just don't know who you slept with, and you've got some tattoo at some party. And we talk about, I'm going to talk about these only because, people are giving, because tattoo is I think it's just an example of a blood transmission. It's just an example of transmission that might be you might have a myth about, and there are a lot of myths out there. You can get a tattoo from home. You can get HIV from home tattoos, and you can get it from home piercing your ears. It's taking a needle out of you and into me. That's risky, low risk but risky, and I think I kind of opened that up to questions about myths that you have about HIV, if you have any. Anything that you think of, the mosquito thing, which is nah, because there'd be more people infected. So I had somebody once that was afraid of a letter mailed to him from somebody who had HIV because the stamp was licked and the envelope was licked, and ooh no. And I mean, I'm saying that that's ignorance, and that's kind of what I'm here to hope to dispel any. And I want to know that people have an idea today, and that's a good thing, because those people with questions seem to diminish, which is good. Okay, so we're going to also talk about blood outside of the body and on desktops. What if there's blood on a desktop, or basketball blood on the, people with HIV who are playing, and who, you guys are more dangerous to me than I am to you, basically. Because I could get chickenpox again. You might have something viral on you that could kill me. Okay, I take a risk every day going into stores and places. My immune system, as of today, and touching doorknobs and things, and because today my immune system is not as good as it's been. I have about 100 of these cells left. I'm going to take you here after the bad date and I'll talk about the whole thing about that. Okay, so she's gone. Thank God. She wasn't my type. Too much baby powder. So, let's go this way. Okay, so this was the night of the tattooing, and you found your underwear, outside the house somewhere, and you're wondering, oh, I want to get tested for HIV. I want to find out if I have contracted the virus, and can you run out the next day and get tested? Oh, Monday morning I'm going to run out and get tested. You guys, no? Okay, that's good. God, this is good. Somebody's reading or something. Okay, that's good. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait 6 months, about 6 months. When the virus enters your body, it silently builds up its army against you. Silently builds it up, because this does not know what to do with it. It does not recognize it as anything it's ever dealt with before. This has snuck past its own defense. It doesn't know what it is. Takes forever, so it grows, and then finally your T cells, what they do is they put out an antibody. Oh, an antibody, but it's a dysfunctional antibody, because it doesn't know what to do, so it puts out one that is wrong. And so that takes a good 6 months or so. Could take longer, could be sooner. Depends about the dose of HIV. So, okay. So, get tested at 6 months. I'll do this way, 6 months. And they might find it. Is it positive? Well, it used to be, I won't go so far this time. I don't want to kill the camera. It used to be you'd have 10 to 12 years to live. Okay? At this point, these are the T cells. It's the progression and the loss of the T cell. Ooh, gosh, geez. The T, stop. It's the T cell, okay? Helper cell, that's what it's called. You have, say, an average healthy person has 1,500 of these. Okay, that's good. Oh, I'm not doing good. 1,500. And over the progression of time, they start to be depleted. You get to, say, 200. Is it 15? Okay, ask it then.
What's the average? What does a normal person have T cell count?
This would be it.
1,500.
That'd be it.
And when you have HIV, then you have 200.
We're talking over a 10 to 12 year period of time.
What about like?
It'll take for that to decrease, for this to go down. Huh?
What about when it first starts? What's like the average?
So when it first starts, in what way?
Like
when you
when
first
they
get
first get tested and it comes out
Uh-huh.
positive. Usually when people.
Usually, the immune system is really a strange thing because you can have a stressful week, have a really stressful, maybe have a little nose cold, having a hard time not eating right, just eating out of a vending machine, and you can deplete these, but they'll come back because they're replaceable. They're not just pulled away and not replaced.
Oh.
So, but the thing is they don't have a timing in which they're replaced. They spit them out. And there's a period they're not spit out. So what you're seeing is this action of balance, and the virus can reproduce faster than those T cells can, and does. And once those get weakened, then they have a hard time replacing themselves because they're made of your body and from your body, and so they lose out eventually. But it takes 10 to 12 years for that. If you get a positive reading, go back and get tested again. Make sure it's positive. Make sure it's positive, yeah. Make sure that you know that, so that you can prepare and get on the fabulous medications that they have today that will save your life. Okay, so and if you're negative, I don't like writing way up there. Am I being seen up there?
Yes.
Okay, I trust they're doing their jobs. If you're negative, hey, fantastic. During this period of time, which I've left out, between testing, you need to be safe. You need to be safe during this period of time, which means kissing your pillow. And if you could do that, because you don't want to go out and have kinky, funky monkey sex the night before you get tested, because you could get infected that night, and then go back and get a negative reading, and then be the fool of it, and bounce along your merry monkey way. Okay, so then we go to and if you're positive, do another 6 months. If you can do that, there are ways of doing that. There are ways of making it through 6 months without infecting yourself or somebody else. Definitely. Okay, being safe with it for that period of time. With the increasing numbers of people and youth becoming infected, it is the smart thing to do. Get tested again. Negative? Yay! You may be able to carry on the human race without problems. People with HIV cannot have children. One of my biggest remorses. Okay, so if you get two of those, fantastic, keep it up. Positive twice. 10 to 12 years used to be, but the new antivirals and protease inhibitors are prolonging your life and can like push these down and bring these up is what it does. It's a maintenance. It's not a cure. And it's not fun. It's a regiment. Okay. So, we've done all of that. The T cells, we've got 1,500 over the course of time. These do deplete. I want to explain what AIDS is. I want to explain why it's important. I keep like that spot right there for some reason. I want to explain why it's important to get tested. Anybody in here been tested? I'll close my eyes. Okay, it's good to know. It's really good to know. Because if you don't know, because of this long period of time of ingestion, you'll wake up 10 years from now with something wrong with your chest, heavy breathing, maybe something growing on your body you don't know about, flu-like symptoms, and you go to the doctor, and the doctor will tell you that you have AIDS. So, and it's stressful to not only your mind, but your body. That word sends hopelessness through people. And I've known people that have found out and died shortly after they found out because the spirit and no time for preparation. And then there's people involved in this period, not only your pain, but the pain of everybody else that you might have infected along that 10-year period. The people you might have taken out with you. And we're not talking about strangers. Well, maybe we are. We're talking about strangers and people that you know and love. So that's why that's imperative. That's important. And anything else? Am I quick? I'm too quick.
No, you're fine.
I'm bad quick. Unless some songs. You guys not have no questions then? No questions, neither one.
Why is it that they say that it was, I mean, is it a myth that it's more per se in the gay community? Because I always thought that prostitutes, kind of have a high percentage of AIDS also.
That's what we're
So
talking
it's
about.
not really.
That's
Was that
probably
a
part
myth?
of the rate, the women's, the increase in the female population. I'm sure is partially due to prostitution, as other things. It's just plenty of unprotected sex. Yes, please. I'm sorry.
We have a caller?
Well, I had one. I lost it.
We have a caller?
Hi, can you please tell us the difference between being HIV positive and having AIDS?
Okay, I thought I did that. I'm trying to do that. I tried to do that here with this. The difference is the T cells.
Oh, okay.
When you've got to 200 of these, you have become, and that's I thank you very much for that, because I kind of left a lot of that out. I tell you the difference of you've become depleted in your defenses at this point.
All right. So then you would start displaying.
You could, yeah,
symptoms.
it's like you have a brand new house with screens on all of the windows. No invaders come inside. At this point, at 1,500 of these, when you've got a healthy immune system, you've got protection against lots of things that you don't even know about on a daily basis. And this takes care of them. When you get to this point, you're weak, and things can come in. You've got bad screens on your house, and things come in and bite you. I've had pneumocystis pneumonia in '92, which is generally it's a killer. Before the antivirals, it generally took out everyone. The pneumocystis pneumonia, and that's an opportunist infection, and it's here now. It's everywhere, I guess. And the opportunist, it's taking an opportunity. It has a chance, and it gets you. There are lots of other things. There's MAC virus. It's a micro, horrible thing, and then there's toxoplasmosis, and which is kitty litter. You can breathe kitty litter and get brain tumors, I guess. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. All I can say, it's it's like a slow ragdoll dance under a 18-wheeler, and I've seen it up close. It's a long, horrible death, and it's not something you get from your pillow, and that's called abstinence. Yes.
Of all the ways between being really sexually active or not being that way, or the thing about getting bad blood in the hospital, which ways would be the more often that people get the virus?
Well, with the 42% rate in women, I would think that would be heterosexual contact.
So having a lot of
it doesn't take a lot. It takes one.
Mm-hmm.
It takes one. I know a married lady whose husband transmitted it to her, and she didn't find out until right before he died. That's how that's happening. Unprotected sex, nasty. Yeah.
I want to know at the final stage, when a person is dying, what organs have failed in that stage?
Oh, kidneys, your kidneys, your liver, your lungs, most definitely, eyes. AIDS is a process of losing everything one at a time. So if you can count that one at a time, first it's your future, and then it's your eyesight, your hearing, and you lose your mind too. So that's
So my second
yes.
question too is, after the person has died from AIDS, what body parts from research labs or whatever can be used?
Nothing.
Even, I mean, I know not
For
the
the
inside,
virus?
but not outside anything
Yeah.
from a person's body?
As to be transplanted?
In some way, in a
No,
part.
no, because it all contains the virus.